What's good, Toronto? This is Flipside. We are now headed to Glow at the Guvernment. This is how we do T-Dot Worldwide Electronic Music Lovers. You know how we do it. EDM, electronic dance music. FLIP to the side, most live. Coming at you live.
What's the horn there? We can vibe to that. Don't it sound so fat? Reminiscent of a classic track. What's the horn there? We can vibe to that. Don't it sound so fat? Reminiscent of a classic track.
Yeah, what's up? This is Flipside. Chilling out in my crib, getting ready for Glow. Doing my thing. Oh snap. Did you like that? To be quite honest with you, I actually don't like being called a DJ. I consider myself an artist. From creating music to thinking of lyrics to arranging songs to even getting involved with my photo shoots, everything from the artwork. Like for example, my sleeve for In the Zone, I had the whole concept of Blade Runner and futuristic buildings behind me. I'm a big fan of that whole aspect, just making sure all the bases are covered, from pictures to still video to even how a string section sounds like on some of my songs on my Mike Perry album. I just like the whole gamut, the whole spectrum of what it takes to be involved in the process known as music creation, hence the MC in the name. Definitely rooted in a lot of soul music, urban music. I'm a big hip hop head. I love old soul, Motown, Philadelphia soul from the mid 70s, the classic Hall & Oates, as well as influenced by opera, classical, and pop music from the 80s. Michael Jackson, Prince, George Michael, any of the soulful stuff is what I really like. And then currently as a DJ, when I'm playing, I'm really into house, techno, and deeper soulful stuff with a lot of rhythm in the drums and the percussion.
If you're ready to make history tonight, I want y'all to say hell yeah. Please give it up for the one and only Mark Oliver. I represent Zoom Recording, Hot Tracks, PBR, Black Hole Recordings, artist, producer, vocalist. My name is Flipside. Are you ready, Toronto? Let's go do it again. Let me hear you make some
noise. When I'm writing vocals, it's interesting because sometimes they come to me naturally. Like for example, my track Just the Tip with Joyce Manara, which Hatiras remixed. The vocals came to me at 3 in the morning while I was sleeping. Then Hi Friend, for example, came to me when Deadmau5 called me up and said, you know, come to my crib and we're gonna work on this track together. And then I listened to the beat and the vocals came. Other times I'll beatbox like a bass line and a percussion section, and I'll think of a track that way. So my mind works in very fragmented ways. George Hatiras calls it musical Tourette's, and essentially I don't like to have a cover or a limit on the way I create. So the way I come up with melodies and lyrics are essentially, I'm channeling into the groove. So if it's from nothing, then I just create it all, And if someone sends me an instrumental, I listen to the bass line or I listen to chord progression, and I try to use my voice as a layer as opposed to challenging the music. I want my voice to enhance it. What can I do with my voice melodically and lyrically that will make the song better, more memorable, something that will give it a cutting edge so that it doesn't get deleted after 3 weeks, right? There's a lot of electronic music that has disposable lyricism, you know, here we go, you know, put them up, let's do this. It's just whackness. So I try to do stuff that's a bit off kilter and weird so that, you know, it just lasts and it stands the test of time. And melodically, to answer your question, I like happy, you know, major chords. If I'm feeling melancholy, I'm maybe in a deeper mood, I might go in a minor area. You know, minor progressions. It just depends on where my head's at. But I like my melodies to be really hooky. And you know, imagine you're at home and you want to hum it. Those to me are the best songs. I think right now I'm really excited about, there's this project that I started with George Hatiras, which I don't want to reveal the name yet, but we're doing like a lot of sexy, deep club music, proper house music. So I'm really excited about that. But currently I've had a couple songs do really well for me. I did one with Jerome Robbins and Crazy Visa called Like That, which went to #1 on a lot of charts around the world. I also did a song that I wrote called All Out, which is a speech and a spoken word piece over a piano-driven tech house track with Calgarian Simon Doty, which is on the Tool Room Ibiza 2014 album. I also did a song with the Night Owls called Ass and Titties, which is a cover of the DJ Assault classic, which was done with pure respect. The original is a great piece of booty music. But this is more, the way I took it is more of a ghetto house, ghetto tech with great remixes by Ninja from the UK and Agent Orange from New York. I'm also working on a lot of interesting bass music and trap with an artist that I manage named Steph Sima, which is revolving around her vocal delivery, her raps, and her imagery. She's like a really talented artist. And then for myself, just going more towards my roots, doing a lot of stuff on Moody Recordings, a lot of proper house music labels. I've got some big room stuff that I'm doing with Control Z Recordings, which is a very respected label out of Chicago, and writing some top lines for various bigger EDM artists as a songwriter. As someone that, you know, working in the studio, I've kind of gone towards more of my urban roots. I have made EDM-ish tracks in the past and I'm proud of them, but I feel more comfortable when I'm working with groove as opposed to explosions in the club, which is amazing. And I just feel more comfortable that I'd rather write the vocals as opposed to being involved as a artist in that department.
All right. We are doing this big time. Flipside holding it down. PBR, Hot Tracks, Tool Room Recordings UK, Mousetrap. This is my home city of Toronto. All right, so we're here at the Guvernment. We're about to go through security to make my way to the stage. I'm excited to be here. This is the scene personified right here. Ink Productions, Guvernment, Toronto family. You know how we do.
Upcoming, I'm playing the Helm Fest, which is a massive festival in Nova Scotia. It's in September. Playing Future Forest, which is the big electronic music festival in New Brunswick. I've also got a really cool show happening in Newfoundland, which is one of the best crowds to play for. And some amazing things happening in America in the next few months, which I've got to keep on the low. but I'm excited for the expansion. And then upcoming music, I've got some, like I mentioned in the earlier question, I've got some really cool stuff happening on Moody and Control Z. And we just licensed a song to the Step Up film on MTV. So that's pretty exciting with my label PBR Recordings and DBR. So that's pretty awesome stuff.
Are you guys ready to take it up just another level for me? If you guys are ready to go up another level, I want to see everyone put their hands in the sky for me right now. Let's go up another level.
Well, PBR started in 2007. It stands for Proper Beats and Rhythms or Rhymes. Now, obviously, taking that label into a different direction, we're kind of putting a pause on PBR, looking for proper big room, trying to get away from the noisier tracks, trying to bring it back to how it started, you know, big club music. DBR stands for Deeper Beats and Rhythms, which is more of the house, tech house, minimal, deeper grooves, which is where I started, and how it's just how I resonate with music. I need to hear that swing in the drums. It's important to me. It's just how I resonate with that, and that's what DBR represents. So we've got some amazing tracks coming up from the likes of myself and the Night Owls, Jerome Robbins. We also found this new kid who's, I guess, inspired by Saved by the Bell, named Zach Morris, and he's really doing that G-House stuff that's just crazy. Like, I met him in Miami by accident with Umek playing one of my tracks, and he just came up to me and introduced himself, and he's like, I'm a producer, and his shit is just amazing. He's got it. He knows what's up. And he samples a lot of hip-hop vocals, which I love, and he chops them up. Hey, if you sample Nas and you know how to flip that, I'm good. So I'm excited about that. That's what we got coming up. If there's one thing, I'd like to say one thing to people that are still watching this interview. As an artist, as a producer, as someone who's involved in the scene, songwriter, vocalist, just do your thing, as cliche as it sounds, but be original. Don't worry about what's number one and trying to mimic that. The reason why producers stand out and vocalists stand out is because they don't sound like anyone else. So if you're just trying to be the next Martin Garrix or trying to rip off Breach or Claude Von Stroke, then you're actually doing a disservice to the inspiration and to the creativity that they put into what they're doing. So you need to stand out. Get influenced, get inspired, but don't bite. It's wrong, and you won't get the respect and you won't have the longevity in this industry. And be honest, listen to your fans. Understand that some people are going to think you are the wackest thing they've ever heard, and that's okay, because there's enough people walking Earth on the planet that you could satisfy someone. It's not about what people think, it's about what you think and doing the best that you can. And I think that's about it, really.
You like that? Reminiscent of a classic track, straight from the speaker, certified ether for the believers. On the level, freaks addicted to beats. Outside the box, where people don't plot, we bless up the spot. Yeah. LA, bringing it back. New York, we're bringing it back. London, bringing it back. Chicago started all that. EDM, that shit is whack.
So if you want to visit me online, you can check me out at www.iamflipside.com, twitter.com/mcflipside, facebook.com/mcflipside. You could also find me tweeting about soccer all the time. I actually lose followers about it, but it's okay because that's my favorite sport. And I'm a foodie. Instagram, mcflipside. Social media, hey, I have a love and hate relationship with it, because like, you need to be on it, but at the same time, there's days where I just see complete nonsense on there, and I'm like, people forgot how to talk to their neighbor and just kind of be cool with them, you know. Everyone's got internet courage, but just be positive, do your thing, and that's where you can visit me. FLA Pizza de Savmos Live, you know.
Was a hornet.
Flipside back in, geez, we were teenagers and we both were, we got along because we both tried to be MCs. He just stuck with it. I've been a closet MC ever since though. But yeah, I don't even view him as, he's like a family member. He's like a brother to me, my little crazy brother. But yeah, we just get along, we vibe, you know? When we sit in the studio, it's not work, it's just magic, I swear to God. It's like, hey, let's try this bass line, all right? Let's try this lyric, and it just always works out. It's just, I don't know. I think we're astral brothers from a past life.
Why do you like DJing?
I love performing with Flipside because, I mean, he brings a whole different dynamic with his vocals. I mean, you know, he can spin and perform lyrically equally well. So, I mean, I'll take over the decks for a minute. He'll go perform a song live. Then we'll switch over, and then he'll come take over the decks while I'm pouring the vodka, you know what I mean? So like, it's a great dynamic, and definitely his vocal element is something that it's unique, and it's not something anyone else, not something many people can do very well together, you know, to DJ and MC at the same time. He's really healthy, but he's a gluttonous guy, and he loves to cook, and it's always great times hanging out with him after a show, cooking in the kitchen. And to be honest, that's when he comes up with a lot of his best lyrics. He's usually got a big spoon over a big pot of pasta or something, and then, you know, he's a kitchen MC more than a club MC. It's just something you gotta know.
Reminiscent of a classic track. Was a horn that we can vibe to that. Don't it sound so fat? Reminiscent of a classic track. Yeah.
I guess since day one, I've always respected that Flipside from the early Toronto rave days. And since then, he's been pushing boundaries forward over the last decade, pushing new sounds, believing in what he does, standing up for what he believes in, speaking hard, and just pushing on with his label, DBR, pushing music that he loves. I love people who take matters into their own hands and want to do something good for the scene too. Solid. As a DJ, every time I've been to see him, it's just tight locks and deep grooves, like much along the style I play. So it just hits home every time I go see him. And he definitely plays a very different style than I do in and out. So it's great going to hear new music all the time. Just big fan in general.
How you doing? I'm Chris Vench. I work with Flipside at DBR Recordings. I'm the label manager and assistant A&R. And what's really great about working with Flip is that he's always honest, he's always upfront, he knows exactly what sound that we're looking for. And working with him in the studio is great because we're able to bounce ideas off each other really, really well. And he comes in and he hears a hook and he hears a beat and just he nails it every single time. I'll play him something and be like, no, you know, shift this to the left, shift this to the right, add some quantize, add some swing, and bang, it's always dead on. So as long as I've known him, and we've known each other for over 20 years, he has his ear for music. As a producer, as a DJ, he just knows exactly what he wants and hits it out of the park every single time.
Are you ready? When I count to 3, I want to see everyone elevate to another dimension. My name is Flipside. I got one more. 1, 2, 3. Put your hands up.
One quirky thing? Like I said, the guy, he's always just writing these funny little songs. So a few years ago when we were living with Hatiras, we were cooking food in the kitchen and Flipside just started making this funny song and it turned into Autograph. And that's just kind of like how his inspiration hits. And it hits all the time, but when he gets those songs that are memorable, it'll be like, oh shit, we gotta record. And boom, it'll just be like a freestyle, something will come to him. And even though he's a very, very talented writer, some of the most memorable things just come off the top of his dome. And the quirkiness that he has in his personality, as his offstage persona and his onstage persona kind of meld together and bring something magical to the table.